Question number 1. Do you ever feel a presence in your carvings, or are they inanimate objects? I feel a presence. I get quite attached to them and give them personalities. And they're my little friends, not inanimate objects. Question number 2. How old are you? I'm 37. Question number 3. How long does it typically take you to carve a figurine? A long time, anywhere from a week to many months. It really depends on how hard the wood is and the amount of detail and how big it is. But I take a long time with anything. How come you always carve the face first? Well, my background is in drawing and painting, and when I draw a figure, I always start with the face or the head first, because otherwise it skews out the proportions. So I apply the same principle to carving a figure. But I think what you mean to ask is, why do I completely finish the face instead of working on the whole figurine at the same time? And that's because I want to see if the wood is capable of holding the amount of detail I want it to hold, and because the face is the most important part of the figurine. So I want to see if I can pull it off before moving on. And also just saying it looks funny to have a face peeking out of the piece of wood. Provided you had enough time and money, what would you love to create? I think I would just be doing more of the same thing. Maybe I would draw a picture book. But yeah, nothing different, I guess. Just keep doing what I do. If your house was burning down and you could only save me or the toad, who would it be? I know who this is. Brian, it's not a toad, it's a great tree frog. And maybe if you hadn't if you hadn't called it a toad, I would have given a diplomatic answer, but I'm not going to now. I would take the frog. What do you use to finish the wood with? I use a mixture of walnut oil and beeswax, and I got that recipe from David from the Whittlings. And I don't know what the ratio is, I just mix it by feel until it feels right. What do you do aside from carving? Nothing. Do you mean my job or in general? For my job, I work as an artist assistant for a famous artist. And in general, I also paint and draw. I'm an illustrator by profession and a portrait painter. And I also like to hike, and I like to learn languages. I've been learning Dutch for over 4 years now by myself. So yeah, that's what I do. Nothing else. Who or what is your inspiration for your figures? No idea. Maybe fairy tales I read as a kid. I can't think of anything else really. Favorite wood for carving small pieces? I really like maple because it can hold a lot of detail, and because I like the little ones to be very hardy and sturdy in case they get dropped, they don't get damaged. So, yeah, maple. Make a time lapse of doing a woodwork from beginning to end. Not gonna happen. No. Just nope. Where do you find the perfect woods? People send me wood, and sometimes I stumble upon a perfect wood when I walk in the woods and I pick it up. How sharp your knives? If you're asking how sharp my knives are, they are sharp. If you're asking how I sharpen my knives, then you can go to my YouTube channel, and there is a video there that tells all about it in detail. How long does it take to carve hiking bodies, and will you be carving more? I will be carving more. They take a long time. I would say 2 weeks to a month per hiking body. Where did you learn wood carving, and how long have you been doing that? I've been doing it for about 4 years, maybe a little more, and I'm completely self-taught. Как там у вас с коронавирусом? Очень классно. На улице людей нет, природа радуется, у меня больше свободного времени. Мне нравится. How many hours do you carve a week? A lot. I would say about 4 hours a day on a work day, and a little more on a weekend. Sometimes I can put in an 8-hour day of carving on a weekend. That's if I'm carving and not drawing. It depends on the project I'm working on. How long does it take to make an adorable 1-inch figure, and what wood is best? Well, this little guy took me a month, and his sister took me about a week. It depends on the detail, and that's maple wood, and so I don't know if it's the best wood, but it's the wood I like for detailed little carvings. How do you organize all of your tools and workspace? Well, it's nice of you to assume that I'm organized, because I'm not really. My desk is quite messy, but I can try to show you. I have a tool roll, and I keep my tools in there, and what doesn't fit in there I put in these boxes. This is a Flex God box, and I have cigar boxes, and I put my tools in them. Not very organized. But yeah, that's how I keep my tools. How do you keep motivated and fight artist block? I never have a complete block. I always feel like working on something, but I don't always feel like working on the thing that I should be working on. So then I choose a project that suits my mood at that time best, and that's how I procrastinate. So yeah, but I'm always working on something, painting or drawing or carving. That's just that's my leisure time. У кого покупаешь дерево, про которое все хотят знать? В основном я не покупаю. Мне несколько людей из Инстаграма прислали свои обрезки, маленькие кусочки дерева, которые мне были нужны. И некоторые я нашла в лесу. Вот, их вырезаю. What advice would you give to starting carvers who want to eventually sell their art? I'm the worst person to ask that question because I make very little money of my carvings, and I make an average $2 an hour per carving, so it's not the way to make money. My advice is do it for fun, and if you want to sell some of your carvings to make a little extra money, then do that, but that shouldn't be your end goal. Just have fun with it, because this is not a profession which is gonna make you rich. Maybe it does some people, but I think those people are very few fortunate. And I would say don't compare yourself to others, and just do your own thing. Just keep improving your skill and keep carving. How tall are you? I'm 5'9". I think that's 180 centimeters. Are you right-handed? Most certainly I am right-handed. How would you compare the social constructs of society in Minsk and New York City? Day and night. uh, Granted, I left Minsk in 1999. Maybe it has changed, but at the time I lived there, I guess the main difference is if you don't conform, if you're different in any kind of way, if you walk different or dress different, look different, talk different, think different, everyone is gonna point it out and be constantly on your case. And in New York, you're just kind of left alone, and if you're slightly off key, nobody cares. But on the other hand, it can backfire if in New York you're in trouble and somebody's messing with you, then you're on your own. And in Minsk, strangers would definitely help you out. What prompted you to start carving? I got several questions, several different variations on this question. I've wanted to carve wood since I was a kid. It just always appealed to me. I thought it was really cool, and I really liked anything made of wood. And I liked the properties of wood, that it doesn't sink and it's durable. It doesn't break if you drop it. It just has a nice feel to it. So yeah, I've always wanted to do it. I just didn't think that I could until I was an adult. And my friend told me, you'd be good at this. And then he got me some carving tools and I gave it a try. And here I am now making a video for you talking about it. Tell us about your daily life, job, partner, siblings. Daily life, I kind of already touched on that. I carve, I draw, I paint, I hike, I exercise. My job is working as an artist. Partner, I'm not gonna, it's complicated. Siblings, I don't have any siblings. I used to have a half sister and she died, unfortunately. What is your dream for the future? For my future, or the future of humanity? I'm not sure what you mean. My future, my biggest dream is to be self-sustained and not work for the man, and make a living with my own art, and maybe live somewhere in nature and far away from society. If you would choose a partner solely after profession, which one would you pick? I'm not sure what this person means by a partner, like a boyfriend. By profession, a gravedigger. Because I think he would be a loner just like me and in good shape from all the exercise. Игорь написал, у тебя получается все люди классно, мне нравится, успехов тебе, привет. Привет, Игорь. Спасибо. Why don't you start the big sculpture? Because I don't want to. I enjoy working small and carving little figures. Any advice for a beginner? Just do it. No advice, just carve. Are there things you wish you would have done differently in your hobby? I wish I hadn't dropped that gouge onto my foot. That's about it. What parts of carving faces do you find the most challenging? I think the eyes, the eyelids. It can be kind of nerve-wracking if something snaps off or doesn't come out. It's impossible to fix. So yeah, eyes. Tessa is asking what my favorite color is. Blue. This question is in French. I'm not gonna try to read it, but I think I understand it because I used to learn French. What inspires you to create your small characters and how did it start? I think I've already answered that. I think some of my previous answers cover this. Yeah. Do you plan your characters before carving them, or do you just build them up as you carve? Sometimes I plan them, but most of the time, carving is kind of like doodling for me. I just start carving and see where it takes me. I have no plan. But sometimes I actually make a drawing and follow it. If you had to choose one tool and give up the others, which would it be? I've gotten several variations of these questions and I really don't like to think about it. It makes me upset. I guess my favorite tool is this. It's a hug blade and I put my own handle on it and I modified the blade a little bit. So I would say this one, but it would really be impractical to just have one tool. It's kind of like, imagine painting a very large painting with one tiny brush. It would take way too long. Or painting something very detailed with a large brush. It might be possible if you just use the tip, but it's impractical. So having a few tools is really helpful. Don't ask me questions like that. It's not nice. Where do ideas for your carvings come from? I think, okay. I'm especially interested in the little girl. This guy is from Belarus and I asked him what he meant. He thought that all of my girls are the same character. No, they're siblings, they're related, but they're very different. They just look a little similar because they come from the same parent. Did you learn to carve from someone or somewhere, or is it a natural skill? It's a natural skill. Do you plan or wish to carve something absolutely different from your creations? I am working on something absolutely different at the moment. I'll show you guys later. Favorite type of carving knife? If you couldn't be a wood carver, visual artist, what would you think you'd pursue? I think something with working with animals or something in nature. Maybe a farmer. Do you ever sharpen with a rough or soft surface stone? It is horrible and takes so much time. Again, you can go to my YouTube channel and watch a carving video there. I do use a stone sometimes. Do you make your own carving tools? Well, I've made knives with blades that I've purchased. I don't forge my own blades, but I have modified blades, like this one is a Mora knife and the blade is buried inside the handle. I've already shown you this one. I also modified it a little bit. And there's also a hug blade. I have a whole bunch of them. So yeah, I don't know if it qualifies. I put handles on the blades, but I don't really make my own tools. Do you ever use a magnifier to see the detail you're carving? No. I should be, but I'm not. What are your favorite books? I like old ghost stories and gothic novels. I think my favorite story is The Thing from the Lake by Eleanor Ingram. And I like the more recent book I've read that I liked. It's modern, but it's written in a style of a gothic novel. It's The Woman in Black by Susan Hill. I like The House on the Borderland by William Hope Hodgson. Stuff like that. I wonder how you decided to start carving. I think I've covered that already. What's your favorite mushroom? You know those orange ones? In Russian we call them little foxes, lisichki. I think they're called chantels. Um, I don't know what they're called in English, I'm not sure. But they taste like nothing in America. They taste like cardboard for some reason. But yeah, those are my favorite. I'm impressed with the expression in the faces you carve. Any tips for carving them as you do? I think practice drawing faces more. And I think it really comes from that, is that I'm a portrait painter, so it comes out when I carve. There's really just, there's no tip for it. You just have to practice and keep doing it. And but I think drawing would really help you. Where do you get most of your carving tools? Most of them people have given me as gifts. My coworkers always get me for Christmas or my birthday, get me a gift card for wood carving stores, and people from Instagram have sent me tools. I have bought a bunch of tools in the beginning when I first started carving, but now they just come to me and I keep accumulating them, and I have quite a few. Have you thought of carving a chess set? I get asked that a lot. No, I don't even want to think about that. It sounds very tedious and like a very, very long-term project that would probably take me a lifetime. And I don't even play chess, so no. What is your most difficult and time-consuming work? This. It's boxwood, and it's extremely hard to carve, and I made it crazy detailed, and I've been working on this for ages now, and I'll never finish it. If somebody wants to finish it for me, send me a message. What are the smallest and largest carvings you have done? The largest one is this one. It's not finished yet. It's one of those projects that take ages. The smallest one I have right now is this little guy. But I've done something even smaller than this in the past. It was a little moon pendant. So yeah. Can we see your entire collection of tools, and which are your favorites? These are all my carving tools. That's not too much, right? These are the ones I made myself, so they're naturally my favorite. I love my Mora. I love my Flex Cut micro tools. These I don't use much, because they're more for larger scale work, which I don't do, but this was on sale, so I bought it a long time ago when I didn't know what I was doing. There you go. And everyone's favorite question, what kind of wood do I carve? Well, here's my stash of wood. This is mostly wood that people from Instagram have sent me. Woodworkers have sent me their offcuts, stuff they didn't need. This is all hardwood, dry, and this is softer Spanish cedar. That's my favorite softwood. Walnut. A lot of this I haven't tried yet. I haven't had a chance to carve it yet, so I can't give you feedback. But my favorite hardwood is maple. I like walnut too, but not so much for detail carvings. And my favorite softwood is Spanish cedar. But I always make sure that the grain is tight and that it's all completely dry. So there you go. Now you know.